Hey everyone, how are you all doing? This is Spike here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be taking a look at Team Rally mode. So, if you don't know what Team Rally is, then you're clearly new, and you should just go, check it out ways. Well, basically it's just, you put two teams against each other, players get to choose which team they want, and it's whatever team that collects the most tokens in the end altogether that wins. But this mode, at least for me, and I know a lot of others do not like it, it has a lot of flaws. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to fix it, in my opinion. So I thought I'd make a little video to say my thoughts on Team Rally and how I would personally improve it. Of course, if you like Team Rally, that's absolutely fine, but this is just my own opinion, really, on what I would suggest to be improved to make it much better overall and more interesting. So I've split this into two different categories for design and UI, so basically how everything looks, what gets included and all of that. And then for mechanics and functionality, like how scoring is calculated and just other stuff like that, balancing the game and stuff. So firstly, I think I'll start off with the mechanics and the functionality side and talk about the scoring, because that is awful right now. Pretty much the scoring is based off who is more popular and which team has the most coin boxes on, which isn't too great in my opinion. It's simply choose a team, collect tokens, and all of those tokens are added up at the end, and it's whoever has the most tokens that wins. But the thing is, if you have, say, something like 7,000 members on one team and 3,000 members on another team, it's obvious that the team with 7,000 members is going to win, which just isn't really fair. Because the thing then is, say, you've got, let's take two characters, let's take Yoshi and Birdo for example. I think it's pretty clear that Yoshi's a more popular character than Birdo. So is it really fair if Yoshi wins just based on that? Because then even if you're more of a fan of Birdo, you're just going to want to join Team Yoshi anyway, because that's who's pretty much guaranteed to win. So let's take the Bowser Jr. vs Diddy Kong tour as an example. This is an awesome tour. It needs to happen. Say something like Bowser Jr. has 3,400 members and Diddy Kong only has 2,400 members. At that point, with the current formula that's set up, it's obvious Bowser Jr.'s team is going to win, as it should be, by the way. But then let's say Bowser Jr.'s team currently has collected 16,000 tokens and Diddy Kong's team has collected 13,000 tokens. What you could then do is divide the amount of tokens by the amount of members. So if we divide 16,000 tokens by 3,400 members for Bowser Jr., that would give him a total score at the moment of 4.7. So for Diddy Kong you can do the same, just divide 13,000 by 2,400 and that will give him a final score of 5.4 points. Take a look at it this way, I mean, obviously 13,000 tokens is less than 16,000 tokens, but the fact Diddy Kong has a lot less members means it's really more fair that he should be winning here, with the ratios especially. This is honestly a very simple fix, and as I said before, I'm really surprised that they haven't done something like this yet. I mean, this isn't even the only method for fixing it. There could be other ways as well to build up the formula for this. This is just a way that I thought of, a very simple way. So let me know what you think of this and let me know if you have any other ideas for this. One other thing I'll say on the topic of scoring, that new scoring method that they have since the Bowser vs Donkey Kong tour is so bad. I mean, I don't even know if they really fixed it, to be honest, or even made it worse. And what I'm talking about is the whole, if you're on the losing team, then you get the bonus to double your points or whatever. I don't care. It's awful because all that does is it just alternates the teams over and over each day. And then it's basically whichever team is last on Tuesday, so the last day, is the one that wins, basically. So it's just like, really? Like, what's the point? It's just, I don't know. Horrible method, but this new scoring method that I just went through here would probably fix all of that and make things a lot better overall. So that's fixed the popularity issue mainly, but we still have the coin box problem. I mean, this might not be a problem for most of you. I'm not really sure people's thoughts on this, but of course the team that has the most coin boxes on is arguably more likely to win because of the way you collect tokens. Of course, getting a coin box is going to spit out loads and loads of tokens, so people are just going to want to keep grinding with coin box drivers to get as many tokens as possible. In my opinion, that's kind of like, you see the character roster, you see one team with 8 coin boxes and one team with 2 coin boxes, and you already know straight away the one with 8 coin boxes is going to win. So it's like, again, just like with the popularity of characters, you're going to want to choose that other team that has the most coin boxes on the team. I think a much better way really for collecting them is through hitting opponents, or even just collecting them in item boxes instead of coins. Every time you get a coin in an item box, then that's going to turn into an event token, which is still going to count as a coin for you, so it's not like you're going to lose combo or anything. What this is going to do is it's not going to necessarily make any particular item OP, so the team with the most coin boxes isn't necessarily going to win if it's all about just hits. There's gonna be items that maybe you could arguably hit more with, like say Bowser Shell if you're towards the back, but that's good. It's nice having some things that aren't like super OP, but can really help your team out still. Because if it's from hits, you can still use just random stuff like regular bananas, green shells, red shells, all of that. You can still use all that and you can still grind tokens. Again, I feel this might be a bit more controversial, to be honest, because I know a lot of people do like coin boxes, but I don't know, man. It's sad just knowing immediately which team's going to win just based on the roster on both teams, you know. Let me know your thoughts on that anyway, and if there's anything you want to add to it. Now, another thing I want to talk about are the rewards for winning and losing. I don't actually have any data, to be honest, on what the rewards were, but all I know is the difference with the rewards is so slim. There's just like, there's no point even just try harding to make your team win. I don't see why people take it so seriously at the moment, because the rewards are just so bad. I really think they need to make these rewards a bit better for the winning team and make it more of a reason to actually make your team want to win. So of course you get the badge, maybe instead of what was it, like 15 rubies or something, or 10 rubies, maybe give them at least, you know, enough for a 10 pull, at least 45, compared to the losing team, which will get something, maybe like 10 rubies or something, or maybe some coins as well. Maybe the win team will get like 10,000 coins. That would be nice. Just something to make the rewards a bit better for the winning team and make it more worthwhile to actually try and make your team win. Now, I think the final thing I want to talk about for the functionality, I think it's the final thing at least, from what I'm remembering, but the working on multiplayer a bit better. If your team wins in multiplayer, so of course it's not necessarily whether you come first, but it also depends on your teammates' placement as well. But if your team wins in multiplayer, you get extra tokens to support your team. So maybe if you win, you get like plus 50 tokens or something, as opposed to the losing team that gets none. The reason I'm locking this specifically to multiplayer is, let's be honest, who hits the bots on your team in just single player? I mean, I don't know anyone who doesn't. You gotta hit the bots so you can win and to keep combo and all that. Obviously it's different in multiplayer, you don't want to hit your teammates, even though people still do, and you just want to get that victory. So that's what makes it different from single player, and why I feel you should probably only get the bonus in multiplayer for getting first place. There's also other things in multiplayer that I like that's not necessarily limited to just team rallies, but team games in general, which is balancing some items. Like, I find some that are way too OP, like lightning. If the enemy team gets a lightning at the end, you've lost. Like, there's no winning from that. So maybe with items like lightning, you can just make it so you grow a bit more quickly, you know. I don't think the mechanics and the scoring is the only bad thing about team rallies though, but I feel the design overall needs to be a bit more improved to make it more interesting. One thing I definitely think we need is an ult for both of the characters in the Verse Tour. So for Bowser vs DK, Bowser gets an ult and Donkey Kong gets an ult in that tour. For Bowser Jr. vs Diddy Kong tour, Bowser Jr. gets an ult in that tour, and so does Diddy Kong. Now, the reason I want that mostly is it could be very, very interesting to add a theme behind these Verse Tours, instead of just saying, hey, it's Bowser vs Donkey Kong, or it's Bowser Jr. vs Diddy Kong. Actually have a theme behind it. Like, as an example, if you didn't see, I made a tour concept a few months ago for Bowser Jr. versus Diddy Kong, which is why I keep bringing it up. I'll put it on the screen for you right now if you didn't see it. But this I made at the time Bowser vs Donkey Kong came out, which is why I made it in the first place. So with this one, it's not just straight up Bowser Jr. versus Diddy Kong, but it has a gaming theme behind it as well. Because, well, they're both children, so it makes sense. They like gaming. I mean, not all children are gonna like gaming, okay, but it makes sense, you know. So that's why I decided to make a gaming ult for both of them. It's just, it's awesome having two similar outfits for the two rival characters. For Donkey Kong and Bowser, well, they're both big and strong. How about maybe a boxing theme? You could have boxing gloves. I mean, definitely not a reference to Kangaroo Yoshi, but you could have boxing gloves on Bowser, you could have boxing gloves on Donkey Kong, you could have some cool verse banners of them boxing each other. It would be awesome, instead of literally just having standard Bowser versus standard Donkey Kong. And there's so many cool ideas that could come out of this as well. I mean, I actually don't remember the tour name. Give me a second. Oh, okay, well it was actually a Ninja Tour concept, but I'll share it on the screen. This isn't necessarily a Bowser vs Bowser Jr. tour, but you could make it into one. You could have, for this one, like, samurais versus ninjas. It could be awesome, stuff like that, you know. You could have the big strong ones on Bowser's team, like say Wario and Donkey Kong, I guess, and on Bowser Jr.'s team you could have like Waluigi and, you know, Shy Guys, the tricky sort of characters, you know. And the other thing that could come out of this are special maps, new ones to the game, like Ninja Hideaway, but not necessarily Ninja Hideaway, but ones that actually relate to the theme of the tour. Like, for example, with the gaming one, you could have some sort of, well, I don't know, what could relate to gaming? I'll have to think about that one, but for boxing, for example, with Bowser versus Donkey Kong, you could have a boxing arena kind of place, or maybe for Samurai vs Ninja, you could have some sort of other arena. And if there's a retro map that fits this criteria, that would be awesome as well. But I'm sure a lot of people would like to see a new map dedicated to the theme itself, rather than just some just some like RMX Choco Island. We don't want that. Of course it could be challenging to make a new map for every single one, but not every single one needs a new map, and also these rallies don't happen too often anyway. It's a lot of months gap between each one, so it gives them time to work on a new map. Now we're moving on to more minor things, but things that would still be awesome, like just put more effort into little things like the team rally tokens, for example. I think everyone can agree that this picture shown on the screen now, like the fan created tokens are much better than the actual official ones. It's a very small thing, but it's just nice, it's nice to have. Even if, no matter how small it is, it's just still nice to have in the game. It's nice to know the developers put that detail into there to just make it more appealing, honestly, to the theme. The other thing I want to talk about here, and I think this is the final thing now, but it's going to be the loading screen. The loading screen, man, I just hate them so much. Am I the only one? Probably not. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. But they're so bad, not to be rude, but come on. Like, look at this. Where is the emotion? I mean, you're meant to be sad, you lost, but you're literally just there, nearly smiling, in the background. Just, why? Come on, just at least make them look sad. And it's not even just that, but the design overall of this loading screen. I know, again, it's not a big deal, it's just a loading screen, but it's just nice to have these extra details. It just looks very bland, honestly. For example, with the Bowser Jr. versus Diddy Kong Tour, as I keep saying over and over, but with this tour concept, here's a loading screen that I made, based on, of course, the winner, like they are. So you've of course got Bowser Jr. wins here, you've got Diddy Kong wins here, you've got the whole gaming theme in the background, you've got TVs all over the place, you've got an audience. Not that you can see that in the portrait view, but you can see it in the landscape view at least. You've got the winner character holding a big trophy. You've got emotion. I mean, look how sad Bowser Jr. and Diddy Kong are in the background compared to how happy they are if they win. I mean, I'm not exactly talking about the actual loading screens for the tour itself yet, but I mean, you could even improve those, like with this verse banner I made here. It's, in my opinion, not being biased, but in my opinion, the design is a lot nicer than the official ones. But again, that's just my opinion. Maybe you'll disagree, but it's, you know. I think this will make the loading screens a lot more interesting and make people feel more like they've achieved something, you know, like you got the character holding a trophy, like, oh, look, you got a trophy, well done. You brought your team to victory. I mean, look how happy Bowser Jr. is. You chose his team, he's so happy now. He is very proud of you. And still on the topic of loading screens, the other thing I want to go through is when the winning loading screen actually appears. For example, we had the Mario vs Peach tour last. That was our last first tour. After that, we got the Frost tour. Then we got the Kamek tour, and that's when the winning screen was shown across the whole of the Kamek tour. It skipped the Frost tour. I mean, it's obvious why that is because the developers of course need time to actually make the winning screen. But the problem with that is it's not relevant anymore. Like, honestly, I completely forgot that the loading screen was even going to come up on the Kamek tour. I was disappointed when I realized. But like, you just forget. You're like, oh yeah, that happens in the past. I don't care anymore. Like, it really would be better if they found a way to show it on the very next tour. So it should have been on the Frost tour as opposed to the Kamek tour. Again, as I said before, the developers need time to actually know who's won, and so they know who's loading screen to make. But I feel maybe you could end it a bit earlier than the tour. Maybe just end it on Monday, and then they could start working on the loading screen on Tuesday. I mean, it's not going to take long to make a loading screen. Come on, it's a company. You can do it, Nintendo. I made this loading screen here in 5 hours, and that's 2. That's 1 for Diddy Kong winning and 1 for Junior winning, and that's just me. A company can definitely pull that off. Again, it's just a minor thing. Don't have to do that. I mean, it's not really gonna make the tour much better or worse, but it's just a nice thing to have again. But I think that's about it anyway, to be honest. That's all I wanted to talk about. I don't think there's anything I missed, but if there is any other ideas you have, please do let me know. Or if there's anything that you've disagreed with, also let me know. But I definitely do think that these first tours need quite a bit of work. In both terms, the functionality and the design overall. I do respect some things that come out of Verse Tours though. I mean, we get awesome rewards, we get the great tier shop of course, we also get great pipes. I mean, even if most of them aren't amazing, I do love getting the 2 special pipes of the tour, you know, the one that's dedicated to one side of the team and the one that's dedicated to the other side of the team, with a random assortment of drivers that you may or may not have, and it's your chance to finally get one of those if you don't have them already, or if they're even really good or something. And then you've of course got the purchasable banners as well, like you have what is it, 4 each week. You have 2, wait, is it 4? Hang on, I don't remember exactly, but you of course have 1 dedicated to the team, 1 team in the week, and then 1 dedicated to the other team, and then the same thing on the second week, and it's awesome. There are a lot of things that do come out of, good things that do come out of the team rallies at least, but in my personal opinion, again, it's mostly negative. But I feel like if they implemented some of this stuff and made changes, it would just be so awesome. It would honestly become like one of my favourite types of tours, to be honest. Be really interested to see what they could do with this in the future, if they ever do decide to change anything, that is. But let me know your thoughts as well anyway. Is there anything do you really like Verse Tours, or do you hate them and wish they'll just go? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live chat if you're in the premiere, of course. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye. Leave a like and subscribe as well if you enjoyed. It makes Junior very happy.